Hey, what's up, my friend? So first and foremost, I just want to wish all my Chinese friends a happy Lunar New Year, right? I hope, things are, great on your side, right? Visiting your relatives, your friends, and, people that you don't really meet very often, right? I think this is a perfect opportunity, right? To meet these people in your life, right? To have a good time, right? Eat the goodies, right? Enjoy yourself and just, to catch up with one another. So happy New Year, right? To all my Chinese friends. So anyway, right, back to this week's video, right? Last week I posted an email, right, saying that I'm actually running out of ideas, right, on what to wear on these weekly videos, right? So I had some interesting suggestion, right? Like one I had is saying that maybe I can make a trading with Rainer t-shirt, right, and I can just wear the same thing all over again. And some said that I could wear different, superheroes t-shirt like Batman, Robin, Green Lantern, Flash, and Superman and stuff like that. And there are some, really nice ones who said that, Rainer, we don't really care what you wear, right? Because, it's who you are the one that we are paying attention to each week and not your attire. So yeah, those were some of the comments that I've received, right, last week. And I think the different attire, the trading with Rainer suggestion were all pretty good ones. So, we'll see what happens next, right? So anyway, back to today's video, I want to be talking about the markets, right? So I'll be walking with you through, right, a few trading setups that I'm in, right? I share with you my thought process on why I took the trade, where I entered, where I'm going to set my stop loss, and I'm basically just putting these trades out there, right? There is no guarantee that, I'm going to make a profit on each and every one of the trade, right? It could be, a loss on all of them, but that really isn't the point, right? I guess the point is, sharing with you my thought process so you can actually, replicate it, right? Or rather to think along the same lines as me, right? And you can, move on and find, similar trading setups according to your personality, your own goals as a trader. So all this and more in today's video. I'll see you there. Okay, so the first market that I'm going to talk about today is the EURUSD. Okay, you can see that on the weekly time frame, right? This is the big picture. Price is basically trying to grind lower, right, with lower highs and lower lows. So you can see it's pretty obvious, and I've managed to get a trend line to actually connect through the highs, right? This one over here. So looking at the daily, okay, you can see that right now price is doing this, right? It is in a downtrend, series of lower lows, lower highs, then it entered this period of range over here. So in this market condition, right, you know that the number one is that the trend is down. Number two, right, is that where do you want to trade from, right? There are two ways to go about this, right? Number one is if you're trading from an area of value, right, this would be a level that you would want to pay attention, the 145 level, okay? But something is actually happening right now, which is, we have this consolidation at this area of support over here, right? At this point in time, right, the market, right, is looking, if you ask me, right, it could potentially, look to break out lower from here, right? Because if you think about this, just think about this for a moment, right? Price came into this area of support, right? You know that at area of support, it is a level that, buyers want to get long, right? Because that is an area of value, right? There would have, potential buying pressure to push price higher. So it wouldn't be, surprising to me that, traders are long, right? Maybe their stops are below this low over here. Maybe they went long when price, tried to, trade below the lows, couldn't, then the next candle it closed higher. Traders will get long and put their stop loss below this low over here. And what do you think is going to happen, right? Say, for example, if traders will miss this entry over here and then price, trades up a little bit, and if it comes back lower, traders who miss the entry will look to get long once again, right? Because they missed the move earlier and now price retrace, right? They will look to enter long and more stops will accumulate below this lows over here, below this low of the week. So what I'm looking for is actually to fade against, or rather to trade against traders who are long. Why do I want to do that? Because again, number one, the trend is towards the downside, right? I don't want to be, going against the trend. So if I know that there are enough traders who are long and their stops are below this low over here, that could actually fuel further selling pressure to push price lower. Okay, because think about this. If there is enough sell stop order over here, right? Basically, traders who are long, they will put a sell stop order below this low to get out of the trade. if it go against them. So if there's enough order, right, enough sell stop order below this low, if the market takes it out, right, what is going to happen is that this sell stop order would translate into selling pressure, right, which would result in lower prices. So my plan for Euro Aussie, right, at this point in time is that if price can consolidate over here for say a few more candles, maybe another 4 to 5 more candles, right, more orders are going to be placed below this low over here, and I'll be looking to sell with a sell stop order below this low in anticipation of lower prices, because this sell stop order would fuel further price decline. Okay, so this is a potential setup on Euro Aussie and why I'm looking to short this market. This is different from trading from an area of value where you're going long support, sell resistance, right? In this instance, you're basically selling support in anticipation that it will break. But I've shared with you, right, why I'm doing so. I don't do this, just because I think that traders are putting their orders below this low. I do this because, number one, right, primarily I'm trading with the trend, so that increases the odds of the support breaking. Because if you think about this, right, for a downtrend to continue, what must happen? For a downtrend to continue, what must happen? The lows have to break, right? The lows have to consistently break. Only then would a downtrend continue, right? If the low doesn't break and it holds, then chances are the trend is reversing. So as a trend follower, right, I anticipate that the trend would continue itself. So to actually base that judgment that the trend will continue, it would make sense for me to actually sell the break of the low in anticipation of lower prices, right? I'm not trying to predict that this is the bottom. I'm still trying to continue trading with the trend, right? And this is my thought process on why I'm looking to trade the break of this low, right? Why I'm looking to use this breakout as an entry trigger, right? So this is the Euro Aussie setup, right, that I want to share with you. Another one I want to talk about is the pound dollar. Right, you can look at the pound dollar. This is the weekly time frame, but our concern is the daily time frame because I think I mentioned this last week. 127 is a level that I'm looking at to go short. Honestly, right, I would very much prefer if price could actually come closer into this level, right, before trading lower, but it didn't, right? So nonetheless, right, I had a valid entry trigger to went short. It was on the 1 hour time frame, right? You can see that price has been making a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then here is where things got interesting, this portion over here, right? Because if you look at this, right, at this part, right, the sellers came in and pushed price lower, right? Quite aggressive, right? Because if you look at the size of this, bearish candle, it's quite large. But when the buyers try to step in, right, notice the strength from the buyers are getting weak, right? The size of the candles are getting smaller and smaller, right, relative to this earlier move, this earlier move, right? These candles over here are pretty much getting smaller and smaller. Whereas on the sellers, the candles are getting larger towards the downside, the bearish candles. So if you know how to read price action like this, right, this is a sign to you that the buyers are getting weak. So what I did is I placed a sell stop order below this low, right, in anticipation of lower prices. And on top of it, right, I'm leaning against this higher time frame, the daily resistance area, right? So my stops is somewhere over here, right? I set it 1 ATR above this high. So for those of you who attended the trend trading bootcamp, right, you know how I actually set my stop loss. So I referenced from this high and I set it 1 ATR away from it. So my stop loss is somewhere here. My entry is somewhere here, my entry. Okay, so I'm just, seeing how this trade will play out, right? Whether, it will continue the trend lower, right? And then I'll just trail my stop loss, or, I'm wrong and it reverses and hit my stop loss, right? This is one of the two things that can happen. And I have absolutely no idea which is going to happen, right? So this is why you always have your risk management in place. This is why you always risk a fraction of your capital. This is why you always have a stop loss in place. Okay, there is nothing magical or fascinating about my entries, right? This is all very basic, trend following, right? Wait for price to come to an area of value, wait for an entry trigger, and just take the trade, right? You have really no idea, how far the market could go in your favor, or whether it's just going against you. So another variation of this, concept that I trade is the Canadian yen, right? You can see that this one is clearly, in an uptrend. Okay, then we have this pullback. Market rallied once again, tried to retest the highs, couldn't. Then it came back deeper. All right, so you can see over here, right, that the market basically had this candle over here. We have this doji looking like candle, which actually closed higher. So you can be sure, right, traders will go long, right, because they say that, indecision candle, I'll go long. Stop loss. Where would they put their stop loss? Well, chances are they'll put a stop loss below this low. Then what happens? The market collapses, triggering those stops, and then it closes higher once again. So to me, this is like a double fake out, right? Traders who got long over here at this candle basically got fake out. All right. So what my plan is that I went long, right? Here, stop loss again, 1 ATR below this low. I think it's somewhere here, right? So I'm long again. It's a very similar to the pound dollar setup, right? But this time round, you can see that the pullback is much steeper, right? You actually take out these lows over here compared to the pound dollar, right? The market did not even, take out above this highs over here, right? So they're basically, same trading concept, just that your entry, right, is slightly different, right, from one trade to another, right? But still, this one trading with the trend, trading from an area of value, right? And this time around, we have basically a false break, right, where price, took out the lows, took out this low, right, took out this low, and then it closed higher over here. Again, there is no guarantee, price, pop higher and continue trading, and continue the trend, right? This is why, again, I have my stop loss in place. Okay, and lastly, right, let me share with you silver, another trade that I'm in, but not looking too good. Again, same concept, right? Trend is down, right? Area of value is at this $17.20. Price came into this level, right? Did a false break, right? A false break, this candle, false break of this highs. Then it closed lower. So I went short, right? Price, wiggle a little bit, and right now on Friday, it closed against me. So it's in the red right now. Okay, so you can see that the setups are all very similar in nature. Trading with for the pound dollar, Canadian yen, and silver. Trading with the trend, trading from an area of value, and then just waiting for the entry trigger. Okay, so I think a lot of issues that traders face, right, based on the emails I've received, is that they ask, what is the entry trigger they should use to get short? So they're basically, thinking, what are they looking for, or rather, what should they be looking for before they put on the trade? And to be honest, there is you don't have to complicate things, right? Like, for example, the 3 examples I shared with you, for this one is just simple, a lower close, right? This candle over here, price basically, pop higher and then close lower. Some of you call this maybe a pin bar. I don't really want to, get too caught up with what is the exact definition, but you can see that this is simply a candle that pop higher and close lower. This is for silver. If you look at the Canadian yen, a very typical textbook setup of what they call a bullish engulfing pattern. Okay? And if you look at the pound dollar, this is basically using the lower time frame, reading the price action on the lower time frame, right, to time my entry by selling the break of this low. So you can see that, as a trader, right, they can actually be trading, similar trading concepts, trend, area of value. But when it comes to entry trigger, that may differ from trader to trader. And my point being is that you don't want to get caught up, looking for the perfect entry trigger. It doesn't exist, right? I would say the more important thing to focus on is to trade with the trend. Number one, the trend, and the area of value, AOV. Okay, your trigger can really differ from setup to setup. Like for me personally, I have about three entry triggers, 3 or 4 that I use. All right, I just shared with you two of them or 3 of them. So don't really have to just get caught up with this entry trigger itself. This itself, right, trading in isolation is not a good idea. Okay, focus on the trend. Focus on where the market is, right? Where is the area of value? And then you look at the entry trigger. So that is, I'd say, the least of your concern. Okay, so I hope this video, gives you an idea on how you can actually trade same trading concept, right? But with different variations to it, right? And the variation stems from having different entry trigger. Okay, so yep, that's all I have for you, this week's video. Let me see if there's anything else. Nothing much. Maybe I just talk about corn, right? A market that I talked about last few weeks, right? Price has now, so basically it has broke out of this resistance. Seems to be pulling back right now, right? I'm still in this trade, so I will see, right, whether the market will can push higher, or whether this will be a failed breakout and it goes back, plunge into the range. Whatever the case is, I'm just trailing my stop loss, right, as it goes in my favor, right? As a trend follower, this is what I do. Go in my favor, trail my stop loss. Go against me, then I'll let my initial stop loss take me out of the trade. Alright, so yep, that's all I have for you in this week's video. And just want to share with you is that there's a new segment coming up later this week, and I'll share more details with you again, right, in a few days time. So if there's any feedback, just feel free to let me know in the comments section below. And with that, I wish you all good luck and good trading. Talk to you soon.